Hi, I'm Sam Taylor, Welsh strongwoman. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to try and start updating my YouTube channel a bit more regularly for you all. I'm going to start off today by giving a reflection of 2021 and the competitions. So the very first event of the year was the Guinness World Record plane pull. It started off a bit crazy, just sat working one cold January winter day and get a phone call from the Guinness Book of Records asking us if we want to do an aeroplane pull, which is something I'd always wanted to do. So yeah, we signed up for that. We didn't know if we could do it. How do you know if you can pull an aeroplane? Not something you can sort of practice or try out in your street. We also had no gyms because of lockdown. So yeah, we turned up on the day. The first time we knew if we could pull a plane was there and then. As you all know, because just everything went a bit nuts and a bit crazy, and we did it. So that was a great great unexpected start to the year, because like I said, it's not something we'd signed up for or had much chance to train for. So great start to the year. The next thing then was the log and deadlift challenge. So this was supposed to be at the Fit Expo, but the date of the expo kept changing because of COVID. So what happened was we had already booked our hotel and our childcare for Ollie. So rather than messing people around and cancelling hotels and stuff, the organiser of the log and deadlift challenge kindly got it moved to a gym in Liverpool. So we were able to go ahead and compete there. So fun day, a bit rusty because obviously we'd been in lockdown for so long. Fun in terms of the Welsh Masters deadlift record kept sort of going back between me and Sue for our lifts. Yeah, Sue did pit me to that and won the deadlift sort of part, but I'd had a bigger log than her, so I won overall. So that was a great day. Again, me first and Sue second. So the next comp was Wales Strongest Woman, our national competition. Me and Sue head to head again. The build up to this, the mental prep to this was harder than the physical prep. The physical prep was going well. And I will be honest, I went to this competition to win. Bit rusty, bit not sort of comp ready, and I messed up the deadlift. So the rules were don't drop the deadlift from the top, and I dropped the deadlift from the top. So I didn't get my final lift, which was disappointing. I think I came third overall, which was okay. You know, it's a good start to the comp. You don't have to win every event. Next then was the axle, and I think the second bar, I fell spectacularly over the second bar. The bar hit my shin. I didn't know how I got back up. I didn't know how badly I'd hurt myself. I was in agony. I carried on the event, and then yeah, my shin just hindered me all day. It knocked my confidence. Obviously, it was the first comp back after such a long time out. Yeah, and it did affect me. So I came second. I'm not going to lie, I was disappointed with second. You know, and to think that you're disappointed with second in a national comp is crazy. But yeah, I was disappointed. I won't lie about it. But you know, lessons learned, and you know, we on to the next competition. So the next competition is mad. A message out of the blue from Glenn Ross, inviting me to compete and represent Wales in UK Strongest Woman. What an invite! What a message to have. So I looked at the lineup, looked at the comp. I'm not going to lie, it's a heavy comp. Glenn likes to do his competitions heavy, and then you look at who you're up against. So there was Lucy Underdown, deadlift world record holder, Annabelle Chapman, who then went on to win WUS, Donna Moore, the then world's strongest woman, Rebecca Roberts, who went on to win world's strongest woman, and of course my own coach, Rhiannon Lovelace. So yeah, you look at that lineup and you think, I haven't got a hope in hell. So I did go into that competition with knowing that I didn't have a hope in hell. So I set my goal to get to the second day without doing the eliminator, which I did. And then of course I woke up on the second day and realised, I had to do it all again. So yeah, I came ninth, which when you look at it isn't great. But when you look at the lineup, I was the oldest there. I think I was the oldest there, or I was the second oldest by a few months. I think I'm not sure if Julia Mills is older than me, but certainly I was one of the oldest there. But to be in that lineup, to get that invite, that's just something special. So what I always say to people, when you look at a competition and you look at your competitors, don't ever be put off from doing a competition because of who you're competing against. Take it as an honour. So when will I may never get a chance to compete against Donna Moore ever again. So just to have done that, it is special to me, and that's how you've got to take these things. I get messages all the time when competitions get announced and people are asking, "Oh, are you doing it?" Because if you're doing it, I'm not doing it. Please don't ever not do a comp because me or somebody else are doing it. Come and challenge us. I'm only human. Everyone is only human. We can drop things, we can fall over, we can mess up events just like anyone else. So, if you get that invite, you go for it. So the next competition then was Brits Masters. So I went to this comp 2 weeks after UK's. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done it. I didn't train for it. I didn't prep for it. I wasn't ready for it. Um, it I did it out of respect for being the champion because I won it in 2020. And I kind of, I out of respect for the organisers and for the competitors, I went along. But yeah, it was it wasn't. I'd say it was a hard comp. I don't know if it was a hard comp. It was hard probably mentally. I was fatigued. I was aware I had another comp in another 2 weeks. So going into the last event, I was in fifth place. I needed a good stones run, to even get on the podium. So I think I came first in the stones. I did them all anyway. I came first. I knocked Sue off the podium, and I was then third. Not a great comp, not one of my best competitions. Shouldn't have done it. Should have just had time out of the rest and prepped for Brits. So lesson learned is like trying to fit all these competitions in and trying to do everything. You can't do everything physically, mentally. You can't do it all. Just my lesson for next year, and this is to think about what competitions I'm going to be doing a bit more carefully, really. So the next competition was Britain's Strongest Woman in Doncaster Dome, and so qualified for this by coming second in Wales. Another huge competition, heavy weights again, massive audience. There was sort of spectator tickets sold as well. I think there was about 400 spectators. This comp, this one taught me more mentally than physically. I think I'll go through the events in a second, but yeah, mentally I feel this is where the comp where I came into myself, where I came into my own, and I realised that I deserved my place. I could hold my place, and there wasn't any imposter syndrome, which is the first time that's really happened. So sometimes you go into a comp, you don't feel like you deserve to be there, you don't feel like you deserve your place, you feel sort of unworthy in a way, especially when you're up against some just phenomenal women who've been in the sport longer than you and achieved more than you, and there you come plodding along. Yeah, sometimes it's hard, to feel like you deserve to be there. Like I said, I qualified through Wales, so deserve to be there. And I think I've realised that I just love performing in front of a crowd. I love that platform, and I realised I love it. So mentally, it was a good comp. Physically, it was my third comp in about 8 weeks. So physically, it was hard. I was tired. I was fatigued. Don't forget, I'm 43. I usually compete in the Masters category, and here I am in the Opens. Again, competing against some phenomenal athletes. Annabelle again, Rebecca Roberts again, Izzy Tate. you know, so yeah, I can't do myself too much of a disservice really. So me and Ree set the goal of top five. Um, Earlier on in the year, it was top three, but taking into account the comps I'd done beforehand, the timing, and all the rest of it, we kind of thought top five was a bit more realistic than top three. So the events log, I think I was third behind Rebecca and Annabelle, which is it's just phenomenal, you know. Um, then deadlift for reps, so 210. I think I managed five. I was happy with that. I don't think I've ever repped 210, so I was happy with five reps. Don't get me wrong, you always want more, don't you? It's the nature of it, but I was happy with five. Um, I say the thing that let me down was my yoke and my frame carry. So we hadn't had much time to train yoke. I'd only been under the yoke a handful of times in the prep for this comp. It was a heavy comp. I think it was 280 kilo yoke. That's massive. And I don't know that I don't think I'd done that in training. So yeah, it was a big ask for me to go there and then do it. Don't get me wrong, I picked up, I moved it. It just didn't. I dropped it and I just couldn't pick it up again. I just didn't have the energy. Frame carry very similar. So it was a 220 frame, I think. I picked it up. I moved a couple of meters with it. My grip went, I dropped it, and I just couldn't pick it up again. Despite Jenny Todd coming and trying to sort of egg me on and give me some sort of some tips from the sideline, to try and pick it up at least once more, get a few more meters, but it wasn't happening. It wasn't budging at all. Again, hadn't had much time to train it in training with the pressures of everything else that had been going on in the weeks in the build up. So yeah, stones were good. I wanted the 130, the last stone. I was disappointed not to get that. I was just totally fatigued by then. I was, absolutely exhausted. I think the two comps before, UKs and Masters, had taken its toll, and this one being a heavy comp again in the Open. So yeah, I mean, all things considered, I was disappointed, don't get me wrong, but then I finished fifth. Bearing in mind I'd set myself the goal of top five, and I just edged in there in fifth place, so I was pleased with that. But what I took from that competition is, like I said at the beginning, is the mental side of it, and I think that really helped me going into world's strongest woman. I felt that I'd finally arrived and that I deserved to be there. The next one then was the big one. This one was what the year had been about, really. So world's strongest woman, Daytona Beach, Florida. So lots of ups and downs as to whether we were going to get there this year. It had been cancelled in 2020, so everyone was sort of on pins as to whether we were going to get to America to be able to compete again. Lynn Morehouse, official strongman, they worked tirelessly behind the scenes to get us there. Yeah, and massive thanks to them, and everyone who travelled, really. Great competition. So this is over 3 days. Obviously, I went in 2019. You may or may not know I came fifth in the Masters. I was devastated with fifth place, I'm not going to lie. But having had 2 years to reflect on that, fifth out of 19 in your first ever world's strongest woman isn't that bad, so stopped beating myself up about that quite so much, and was able to go back again. So I set my goal to get podium. I didn't mind where on the podium, but I wanted that podium place. Great events, brilliant events. I'd had a good run in with the prep. So what did we have? Log didn't go so well. 2 reps. Felt heavy. I don't think I was over the travelling, so it took us 28 hours to get to Daytona, only the day before the competition. So yeah, I don't think I was over the travelling. I think I was still fatigued, still tired. 2 reps. massively disappointed. It's the first event. You want to go out there, you want to show the world what you're made of. Log had been going well in training. I managed to be getting sort of 3 or 4 reps, so I was hoping for an extra sort of 2 reps in the competition with the adrenaline and the atmosphere and everything. So to only get 2 reps, yeah, I was pretty annoyed with myself. That said, the log felt heavy, and everyone said it felt heavy, and my 2 reps actually put me in second place. The joint first was 4 reps. So in hindsight, even if I'd managed to get a 3rd rep, it wouldn't have done me any good anyway. I'd have needed 4 to tie or 5 to win. So who'd have thought that 2 reps would have got you second place? But it did. So it was a good event. The next event then was the car walk. Fantastic event, visually, just amazing to carry a car. That said, it was a yoke in the car, and I set my yoke height too low. So every time I dropped it, I then had to sort of pick it back up from this really low squat position. And I haven't got a 260 kilo squat. So I think I was about a metre short of the line to finish it. I was disappointed because I wanted to finish it, but it's a lesson to me really, is to spend more time setting my yoke height. So day 2 first event was a deadlift. So everyone does the deadlift, don't they? Sue felt a lot of pressure with this event. Everyone was coming up to us saying, I've only come to see you deadlift, you're a phenomenal deadlifter, so she felt huge pressure in this event. I put pressure on myself. I wanted to get the 5th bar. It was a mammoth bar. I wanted to go at lifting the mammoth bar. So yeah, I came 3rd in the event. Sue beat me again. Sue came 2nd, and Aisha beat Sue by a second. I think we're the only 3 to actually get to the last bar. So yeah, it was a really good event. Really good. I think we all would have had another go if we could have. So the end of day 2, I was in 3rd place, which is where I ended on day 2 in 2019. And of course I fell from the podium on the last day into 5th place, which I was devastated. So that night, after day 2, a lot of mental sort of self-talk, because I just didn't want that to happen again. So on to day 3, again, me and Sue both on into day 3. Sandbag throws. Sandbags have been hit or miss in training. Some days you'd have a good day, some days it's like you'd never thrown a sandbag in your life. But the event went well. In fact, I got to the 6th bag and it stuck twice on top of the frame. It was almost like an action replay. It was frustrating. I think I might have won it if I got that 6th bag over. But yeah, no, it went well considering. The next event then was a stone run. I don't know. I'm not very good at sort of keeping track of the maths and working out the places and things. So I don't know if I needed to do them all. I need to keep my 3rd place. I really don't know. Any event I do, I go out to win it anyway. So, I was never only going to load 2 stones and walk away. I was always going to load them all. It's a good event. The last stone went just around 120 kilos. So, I can rep that in the gym. So I had no worries with the last stone. Head to head with Kiki. Always great to compete with Kiki. She beat me in the stone run a bit quicker than me. But yeah, I loaded all the stones. I think looking back on the videos and, I think I probably need to get quicker with my transitions between stones, just my footwork. So something to work on going forward. Sue did 5 stones. I think 5 stones. She picked up the last stone, but she'd torn her hamstring in the carry and drag. So she picked up the last stone, I think a couple of times, but she couldn't extend it. She felt her hamstring every time she sort of tried to extend with the stone. So she stuck at the 5 stones, but that put her in 6th place overall, which is just phenomenal for her first World's Strongest Woman. Tense few minutes, which felt like hours after the event, to see if I had kept my place on the podium, because I'm never sure. I don't ever want to be confident or cocky or arrogant about it. So tense couple of minutes to see where I'd placed, and I had actually kept that third spot on the podium. So for all Sue's talk about retiring after World's Strongest Woman, Sue now wants the podium at Worlds. So I don't think, she's not here to confirm it, I don't think she's retiring. I think she's kind of going to come back next year and try and get a spot on the podium. For me, I always said that podium at Worlds would be it, but it's not. Don't know if you can see it in my face as I step on the podium, but as I stepped on that podium, that split second, I knew I wanted first. So on the podium, Kelly Jones, second place from the USA. Lovely girl, not met her before, not seen much of her on sort of social media, wasn't on my radar very much, but a great performance from Kelly. Aisha from Ireland, first place. Well, I don't know what to say really. I beat Aisha in the UK's only by a place, I think, or two. But so yeah, with all respect to Aisha, she wasn't really on my radar. For me, she came from nowhere, but she had a phenomenal comp. She just blew her out of the water. After day 2, there was no catching her. She was in that first place, and I don't think she'll mind me saying that. I'm coming for that trophy next year. So no, it was just phenomenal. It was a brilliant end to the year. Finally getting to go to the USA. Learned loads. Learned so much about myself over the year. You learned so much about competitions and your choice of competitions, and not trying to do everything. There's a tendency you feel like you've got to keep doing competitions one after the other, and I think this year has taught me that I don't need to do that. I can be a bit more selective over what I do. So that's sort of the plan going into 2022. Okay, so thanks for watching. That was the first video, just a reflection of 2021 and the competitions that I did. If you liked it, like I said, like and subscribe to my channel. There'll be more to come. I'm also open to what you guys want to hear me talk about. So either leave a comment, or my Instagram name will be coming up in a second. Follow me on Instagram and drop me a message. And likewise, if there's anything you want to hear Sue talking about, do the same, and I'll get Sue involved.